So I just wanted to touch base with you guys when it comes down to helping a student prepare for the reading SOL and working with them through these passages. A couple things I want you to keep in mind. One, it is going to take some time for the kids to do the readings. For example, the help on the hoof passage is a paired passage. So there's one, a um, narrative nonfiction section called Help on the Hoof. And then the other passage is called The Guide Horse Training Process. And so it talks about the process of training a guide horse. And then it has the questions. So because these passages are a little bit longer, it's going to take a little bit longer for your students to read them, or the student you're working with to read them. So this one you may want to break up into 2 sessions. It kind of depends how you want to do that. On the answer sheet, you'll see that the first 7 questions are specifically about help on the hoof, and the next, and then there's 4 questions specifically about the guide horse training process. And then you have some questions that ask about both passages. So that's up to you. If you and your tutee are wanting to work for 40 minutes or 45 minutes, you could knock the whole thing out. But if not, you might want to just have them work for 20 minutes or so and then kind of pause and go back and get them another day to finish out the practice. When you are doing it, like I said, you're going to want to give them time to do the read the passage. But then when you're going over the questions, I find that the easiest way to do this when you're talking through the questions with them is to have them do process of elimination. So, and to talk through that out loud. So for the first one where it says the text structure of this passage may best be described as, ask them to state like, which one is it not? Like, we know it's not chronological, we know it's not cause and effect. It could be narrative or descriptive. Well, are they telling us a story or are they just describing something? Well, they're telling us a story. So then the answer is narrative, right? So by having them tell you what it's not and then asking to explain how you know that's not the right answer, it's forcing them to be able to justify their answers. So I know it can feel tedious going through that, but if you're trying to understand how well a kid understands something, they're going to have to talk about it. And the easiest way to get them to talk about it is this way. If you just say, tell me, oh, what answer did you pick and why did you pick that answer? Yes, if they got it right, they might not, have much to learn. They might have 1, gotten lucky, or 2, they actually did know. But this way, it kind of makes them think through the whole process a little bit more. So that's my suggestion when you're having the kids work through the questions for the passages. Also, some things that you're going to want to reiterate with the students is oftentimes when we're doing assignments for class, students will read the question and then go back and find an answer, which is a great strategy for doing classwork. But the reading SOL is literally constructed to test their reading comprehension. So they are going to have to read the whole passage. And I know that sucks and it's really tedious. And it's part of the reason the reading SOL is so is hard, because it is just long. And a lot of times students don't have that stamina. So kind of helping them, just tell them it's okay to read the whole passage. You have all the time in the world to do it. And no, you don't want to read the passage, but you should read the passage anyway. Because they're going to ask you questions where if you only skim it and if you're trying to find the answer, for example, the text structure, you're not necessarily going to know unless you read the whole passage which one that is. Now, for a question like this in paragraph 1, when they use this phrase, miniature horses, and serves as the guiding eyes of Shah, technically you can answer that question without reading the passage. But Another question where it's asking them to describe the whole mood of the article, they need to read the whole article in order to answer that. So that I know is frustrating for students, but that's something I want you to stress with the students that you work with. The other passage that, or paired passage set that you're going to work with the student is shorter. Like the first text is Fog. It's literally 6 lines. It's a poem that's 6 lines long. So that will take them almost no time to read. And then the paired passage with that, the nonfiction paired passage, is about types of fog. And so each section has a heading. So when you're going over this passage with them, you can emphasize how, use the title headings and the pictures along with the text to help you understand and to help you answer the questions, because using text features is another way of reading. It's not just understanding the words on the page, but it's learning how to use headings, pictures, subtitles, captions, all sorts of things, reading the whole text in order to improve our comprehension, or to really utilize our full reading comprehension. So when you go over those questions or this passage, like I said, this one should take less time because it's because this is broken down into subheadings, they don't have to read the entire thing in the same way that you would read, say, the narrative, because you can always go back and reference specific sections, or like when it has a question. So yeah. So this set of passages will take you less time.